Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Josh Phegan Digital. It's where you'll find our revolutionary blueprint course. There's only one place that you can go from zero to hero over a weekend by watching the incredible blueprint. It's everything you'll need to be that $1 million agent. Prospecting, listing, negotiation, and growth. Broken up into short 15-minute pieces, skip to the content you need now or watch from the beginning to end. Only on Josh Phegan Digital. Welcome to High Performance, the podcast featuring Josh Phegan and Alexander Phillips. Alex, they always say that literally your calendar is your life, and it's such an important part around, really making sure that you're going to be a phenomenal agent is about how you actually go to run that calendar. We've got lots of different demands of us. Some of us are at different stages of life, from, having children to being in a position of running a great business to being a business owner. Really setting up a calendar is critically important. Alex, when you think about calendar management, I think about, a year, and I think about where do I want to break and take holidays, and then how do I actually want to go and drill down on what I actually want to do? Like, what are the months, for example, where there might be 5 auction Saturdays? What are the months where there are 4 auction Saturdays? Where are the public holidays? So I can actually get really ahead on what's actually happening. What are your thoughts about, being great at managing your calendar as an agent and why it's such a critical skill?
Josh, it makes you, for someone like myself, you can break down your year in like chunks or quarters or 10-week blocks. It might be 4 weeks blocks. You can ensure that you're maximising the time when you're actually in the office and on the ground to ensure that you're getting as many properties sold.
So I look at it here and I go, okay, great. One of the good conversations is to understand that, in Australia, we have June 30 as an example as a tax event for investors. And if they want to settle before June 30, they need to do a deal by May 15. And if they want to do a deal by May 15, they need to be on the market no later than April 15. So that would mean to me that would be something I'd be doing a lot in maybe late February, early March prospecting to make sure that I can go to generate those leads. And so there are things that happen every year. And then during the course of a year, you might get things like elections, or you might know that there's specific holiday periods that are actually coming up. Learning how to go and dial that calendar is critically important. Alex, how many people have access to your calendar in the office? And do they have the ability to be able to make appointments, to see where you're at, and to put appointments around that?
Yeah, Josh, my whole team does. And then obviously every agent in our office would speak to Prue to look at my calendar to make sure that, the appointments are booked in around my day when I've got enough time to make sure that we give that person enough time.
And when you think about an appointment, how long for a listing presentation do you put in the calendar?
An hour.
And how long?
That's 45 minutes with 15-minute travel in between.
Okay, and then for a market appraisal?
Same.
And
if market appraisal to me is it's the same thing. Yeah.
And going out for a buyer appointment?
15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes at the property.
Yep.
And so then 15 minutes maybe travel time
Correct,
either side, depending on where you're going. And do you like to try and stack your appointments? So in other words, so when you leave from the office, you're going for, 4 or 5 appointments in a row?
Just like if I look at my calendar for tomorrow, so we've got, to give you an idea, team meeting at 7:45, a vendor meeting at 8:15, a buyer appointment at 9, another buyer appointment at 9:30, an appraisal at 10, photo shoot at 10:30, a buyer appointment at 11, a buyer appointment at 11:30. Then we've got a bit of a break, so it's pretty stacked. And that's quite a busy Monday for us because we try to do callbacks and whatnot. But traditionally, they're quite heavily stacked. Yeah.
And so your job, ideally, I notice there's a lot of appointments in the morning. Are you trying to get your appointments in the afternoon, and that's a bit of an odd day, or is that just you'll take them whenever you can at the moment because you've got so much on?
Most of our appointments I find are more mornings. I think particularly in our daylight saving, it's switched over. By 4 or 5 o'clock, we're done.
Yeah. So getting out there and getting into that early and making that happen. Do you have a scheduled time for lunch each day that you try to aim for?
No.
Okay, great. But literally not 4 o'clock though, I'm aiming?
No, well, I've got my lunch, with me from 6:30 every morning, so I can have it whenever I want.
Yeah, and so literally trying to then finish by the time you get to 4. To run us through a Saturday. What's a start time on a Saturday, and when does that finish for you on average?
Traditionally, try not to do an appraisal at 8, so I can go to the beach or do a workout. First opens at 9, then we just run opens all the way through to 2:30. Might be one appraisal after that, but I'm done by 3 to 3:30. But sometimes there's 30 opens within that 5.5 hour block. So they're it's really intense. But what sort of keeps me going in the afternoon is to follow up the phone calls you get, the the vendors you need to call, like it just keeps going and going until like sort of 5 or 6 o'clock.
And you've got that philosophy, right, that from the moment the car leaves the garage in the morning until you get back at night, you're just on the phone or you're in front of people is the only two things you do, right?
Yeah.
And so like learning how to go and dial that inside of the calendar is critically important. And then also too, like Alex, if you get to a point where you feel a bit flat, you feel a bit tired, or maybe the energy's not off, you will actually say, okay, great, I'm going to go home a bit earlier today, or maybe, I might have a later start on that particular day to make sure you've got the energy right.
Exactly, yeah.
And the important conversation here is to realise that you've got to go and plan your calendar, you've got to go and run it. Everyone in your team's got to have accessibility to it, and you've got to make sure that literally you know how to actually stack those appointments so then you can be at your absolute best and give yourself enough time to be in and around the client.